The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Q101.
Ahoy! Let's go! We're waking up Chicago. Turn up the radio. It's time to start the show. On Q101 with the Morning Crew. Ahoy! Let's go! Welcome to the morning show.
And it's Friday.
I've created a monster, cause nobody wants to see Marshall no more. They want shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shock when I get shocked at the hospital by the doctor when I'm not cooperating. When I'm rocking the table while he's operating. Hey! You waited this long to stop debating, cause I'm back, I'm on the rag and ovulating. I know that you got a job, Miss Cheney, but your husband's heart problem's complicating. So the FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me.
All right, let's go. Let's do this. It's Friday. It's 6:04. It is 64 degrees. Sun's rising above Chicago. And you just got to power through. And it's the weekend. A short week for a lot of people, but it felt harder for most. For us, too.
Oh, God.
It really did.
I feel like I'm getting drugged behind a horse-drawn carriage into Friday.
Wow, that's a visual.
So that's how I feel.
Drug behind a horse-drawn carriage. How do you guys feel? 312-591-8300. Check in if you want to vent about anything to get it off your chest now so the day goes better leading into the weekend. Kenzie, go. Do you have anything to vent about?
Oh, my God. I'm so angry. I should have left my house 5 minutes later today, and I would have avoided just the heinous activities that happened to me. I got stuck in standstill traffic at 4:30 in the morning.
Right in the prime Kennedy construction spot with an accident.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
And, so apparently, did you know that I guess one little man changes those express lanes over? Because I watched him today. So I'm stuck there. Just a lot of semi-trucks surrounding me, so I can't even see in front to be like, is it an accident? What's going on? No, none of that action. And I see this kind of short guy. He's running, and he jumps to drop down the exit closed sign and then hustles forward and moves up the exit open sign, but he had yet to move any of the cones. And about 3 minutes after I passed it, all the exits opened.
Oh!
And I was like the last car to not make it.
It's the worst feeling in the world. The worst.
God. I'm like, move the cone for the love of God. I was sweating. And it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get to work today.
From Elgin at 3:30 in the morning start time probably to get on the road.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah. Well, listen, you guys go through this, you understand it, and I'm actually kind of fascinated that you said this one little man, but he actually was a little man, you said.
Well, I mean, he wasn't like a burling guy. I guess it wasn't like, oh, this huge, incredible Hulk is fixing the signs. He was just hustling around, running. Everyone's tall to me. I'm 5'2". You have to understand.
Right.
I look up to everybody. Okay.
I just wondered maybe at the construction site they actually put people of their skill set to where they should be. He's faster, maybe smaller and faster.
He wasn't fast enough today.
No.
Brian.
Oh,
and
okay.
he clearly woke up late because there was a panic on his face. he looked terrified. Like he was going to... I really think that he's going to get in trouble because of the backup of traffic that early. Those things are supposed to be open. And that's what pains my heart, is when things are closed because they're in use. But to know that I just wasn't allowed to be on him.
You just missed it.
Oh, God. And
Just missed it.
I wasn't allowed to be on those express lanes because he overslept, because I underslept. I could have slept in 5 minutes later and had a happier morning.
Yeah. Does anybody know that guy?
Oh, a dagger to my heart.
That one guy just maybe he had one too many beers last night and got in just a tad 5 minutes late to not open the express lanes just in time for Kenzie to get in. And
that's how I feel every morning when I pass them. It's honestly, it's 50% of the time those things are closed about 4:30 in the morning by the time I pass them.
Yeah.
And they're never in use, and they open up not long after that. So, did he oversleep? I always feel like that because it's not a consistent time.
Yeah, listen, this has been a common complaint in the hour of that 5 a.m. and people know this who are making the drive from 5 a.m. to 6 that not knowing exactly. They have a website They used to anyway, and when the express lanes would open, they'd have a countdown to it.
Really?
But I think with the construction project, it's going to go on for 3 years, which means 11 years in Chicago. I don't think it's as accurate as it used to be. And I've seen people back up on the highway trying to get back when the express lanes open to try to get to those suckers.
I've gotten very close to the cement retainer. Like, whoa!
It's
I've been very close.
It's a very Mission Impossible move. You shouldn't be doing that.
But you can't bumper to bumper.
No, you cannot.
There's no backup room. I wish we all would have been on the same page. We all just would have done it together in tandem. I would have loved that for us.
Well, listen, there's a lot of people checking in right now of how their morning's going so far. Hey, guys. Name's Donovan, and I woke up at 5:30 thinking it was 6:30. Now I'm at work an hour early. Dude, wow. Well, get something done. You know what? You should be able to leave an hour early today.
Yeah, that's
at the end
the
of the
thing.
day.
Yeah,
And
start your...
I know the boss won't say that, so that's on you.
That's not true. I think if you put in the right amount of hours, wouldn't that be great if we could do that in radio?
Just get here a couple hours early and...
And then, yeah, so I could just show up at 2 and be like, sorry, Brian, I'm going to be out a little early today. I
Bye,
got an
Kenzie. Bye.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, talking about you guys, what you guys have going on this weekend, you can check in 312-591-8300. 630 checked in. The last person in our friend group is turning 30 today. So we're going to Michigan for the weekend. Happy birthday, Sarah.
That's so fun.
30. That's all downhill from there. It's all over.
Say that.
It's all over.
You literally met Megan and had Harper after you were 30. Both things.
Yeah, life's going to be great. It is. It's weird how people put those iconic birthdays at a certain level of like when I turn 30, when I turn 40, or when I turn 20.
It's literally a new era, so I get it.
But 29 could be that era too.
No, but it really is a new, like you're starting with a totally different.
It's just a zero.
It's a new decade.
29 could be the decade 29 to 39.
No, okay. You're not listening.
It could
It's
be.
a genuinely new decade of a new age. It's the 10 years you're in your 30s, the 10 years you're 40s. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Listen, Sarah, have a good time. I'm not trying to crap on it. I'm sorry.
Kind of hard.
It's Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, it's time for a fact that makes your brain just go. I didn't do a very good job of teasing it. I just said from a baby and adulthood, there's something you don't know how your body changes that's going to blow your mind and no one knows about it. Now, I come up with these teases, we call it. That's how we do the show. We keep you around, hopefully. And
A tease and please, baby.
yeah, Trucker Craig checked in. He goes, Brian, just relax on the tease. 99.9% of us aren't going anywhere in the next 3 minutes. So I appreciate you for doing that. That helps the show succeed. Sticking around here and waiting for the end result of the payoff. Now, I hope this payoff lives up to what Trucker Craig, you specifically, but also everybody else out there. So, this is the fact that I guarantee will freak you out. Okay, here we go. About birth to adulthood. Babies have around 300 bones at birth. By the time you're an adult, you only have 206.
Oh, you have less bones.
Less bones. What happens to those bones?
I think they morph into, I think you have more small ones.
But do you poop them out? I mean, what happens to those bones? Where do they go?
They probably grow together, some of them, don't you think?
I would like to know if there's a doctor that could call up at 312-591-8300 and maybe educate us a little bit on this.
Do teeth count? Because you lose teeth and stuff.
Teeth don't count as bones.
I kind of think they do.
I'm just saying it very firmly.
I'm
not 100% sure. Okay.
I actually feel like they do count teeth as bones.
Okay, so what's
Look
that?
At them. I just look at teeth.
Yours are very bony.
They are, though. They're white and they're hard.
Okay, so that's what? 26 of the bones? There's still another
because
65?
Now you may be like, well, babies don't have teeth. They still have their teeth bones that are going to come in.
Right.
And that you would have double because you'd have your adult teeth that do kind of exist in your mouth and your baby.
Yeah, but it's not 94 teeth. There's all those other bones in there.
It's a lot of teeth, though.
Now, maybe we're dumb because 219 checked in. It's common knowledge they fuse.
Oh, good. Ha. I was correct.
Ha.
Which one's fuse?
Right, 94 bones you lose through fusion.
I want to know. Did you do the skeleton song when you were young, like the hip bone, the tailbone, like to learn where your bones were?
Yeah.
Like imagine doing that as a baby. It would take so much longer.
94 more bones.
It was a long song.
What's the most useless bone? Like if you get
The
rid of
most useless, the
Yeah.
one that you could get rid of.
Because your body's getting rid of these bones, expunging them or fusing or whatever. You know what I mean?
I think you need all the spine. I would keep all those.
Yeah.
I think the spine, probably one of your toe bones. Get rid of the bone in your pinky toe.
I think that's a mistake. It's a myth. I think you need all those. You need all 5
There's a lot
for
of people
balance.
who lose toes.
I know.
A lot of people lose toes.
You ever talk to somebody who's lost a toe? They are
don't-
miserable.
I mean, I may have, and they just didn't divulge that they only have 4.
Typically, they're miserable people. They're very, very not good.
Oh, we have a doctor.
We have the orthopedist. Sean's checking in from Geneva. Sean, ahoy.
Ahoy. Yeah, our bones are not all fused together from birth. That's what allows us to pass through the birth canal, as well as why babies have soft spots in their head. It takes time for those to fuse together to properly grow and develop. Also, teeth do not count as bones.
Aha!
I really thought, what do they count as? Just teeth?
Yeah, they're just
There's calcium.
calcium. That's why you drink milk.
You got a bunch of calcium sticks in your head?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
fine.
So those 96 bones disappear through fusion from baby to adult.
I wouldn't say they disappear. They just come together and form together.
One mega bone.
More or less, yeah.
Where do we see the most fusion? Is it in the legs, arms? Like, where do you think like the bigger? Where do they fuse?
The skull.
The skull.
Really?
Yep,
Wow. Because the baby's heads are big and they have to come through the birth canal.
exactly.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know.
Give me GBs when you
I
hear
saw
about
it. Listen, I was in there when Megan gave birth.
Oh, poor you. You were in the room when it happened?
I showed up.
Oh, God.
I want a pat on the back because let me tell you something. People told me don't look. And I took a peek. And when the head's trying to come out, it's a big head.
My dad delivered me.
Is that right?
Yeah. And my mom got pissed about it because the doctor, she was like ready to push. And the doctor goes, do you want to deliver her? He said it to my mom. And she goes, no. And she was like livid. And then he asked my dad. My dad's like, yeah, it'd be awesome. And he delivered.
Your mom's like, he drops dishes in the kitchen. He ain't going to deliver my baby.
Oh, she was pissed because she goes, you know how much money we spent to be here? And like, you're not even going to finish your job? It's like self-checkout at the hospital.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
I hope all 206 of your bones are sitting down right now. It's Brian and Kenzie
jeez.
on Q101 because everything about this story doesn't seem real. I thought it was an Onion headline last night when it broke about Britney Spears and an NBA player, which sounds okay. Where's this going to go? I could see this going somewhere interesting, like a Kardashian type story, but that's not it. What happened was, this is the headline. Britney Spears claims she was assaulted by a security guard for San Antonio Spurs star Victor Wembanyama after she tried to approach him at a restaurant and touched his shoulder. Now, first off, let's just take it right there that why Britney Spears knows about this NBA player who's 18, 19 years old, 7'5", guy's incredible, transformational player, going to change the NBA. And Britney Spears and they were at the same restaurant in Vegas.
Yep.
She's probably doing her residency there still or all that, and he's there because it's NBA Summer League going on for the NBA, and he's playing there.
She's definitely not doing her residency at the moment.
Oh, that's right. She did one, but she's not doing one anymore, right?
Yeah, she walked out, remember, at the presentation of the next one?
Yes.
I mean, maybe now that she's free, she wants to do it again. It's in the works, but
Yeah.
definitely not currently doing that.
Free Britney, indeed.
Yes.
So, Britney apparently recognized this guy. Now, I know he's 7'5". I just think it's interesting that she knows who the number one draft pick in the NBA is.
Well, she's got 2 sons, though.
Oh, maybe they're
Could
in the
be
basketball.
their favorite player. I mean, her sons are what I want to say
Teenagers.
16, 18.
Yeah.
They're older.
That's not bad. I like that theory. I didn't
Yeah.
think of that.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. But I just don't think it's funny that she wanted to go up and say hi to him.
Yes.
So she goes over to his table and taps him on the shoulder. We actually have an eyewitness account of what happened in the restaurant.
When Wemby and his entourage were heading into the restaurant, there was a fan who afterwards we found out was Britney Spears, was approaching them with a British accent saying, excuse me, sir, and just kept trying to go towards him. That's when Britney sort of infiltrated her way into this circle and started to put her hand on his back shoulder or his back, because he's pretty tall, so towards his back. And then that's when the bodyguard just turned around, slapped her across the face, and knocked off her sunglasses.
Okay, that's terrible. That's terrible. First off, it is weird that she was talking in a British accent for some reason, but it is Britney. There's a lot of things going on there. But
Yeah. Have you ever thrown out like an hello?
Excuse me. Hey, mate.
Yeah.
But the security guard apparently slapped her in the face and knocked her glasses off, almost knocked her to the ground. And
That's messed up.
That's totally messed up. I found it interesting that the arc of this story, when you see the people defending his security guard online, because Brittany's, well, I'm not saying she's crazy, but she's had a lot of weird things go on in her life.
And it's also not, first off, you just, as a man, there's no need to hit the woman. You're definitely bigger than Britney Spears. You could have grabbed her arm, pushed her away. There's things that you could have done that didn't involve smacking across the face. And it's not like, even if it's like she would have approached with holding something that he thought was a weapon and he immediately reacted, right?
Right.
She tapped him on the shoulder. Again, say no picture, leave, push your arm away. You can deny her. You have a right to do all that stuff. She doesn't need to be physically attacked.
That's a bad security guard.
That's crap.
That's a bad security guard that you smacked her like that. Now, I think he claims he hit her arm, her own arm hit her in the face. And either way, was she that much of a threat? Now, I get it. Today, we're in a weird society where everybody's kind of on edge half the time in public.
You shouldn't touch people.
That's the thing people were saying.
You shouldn't touch people.
People were not victim blaming. They were blaming Brittany for touching him, and she got what she deserved. That's a lot of the comments. Now, comments are an evil place.
That's not good.
And you're evil. And
that shouldn't be your opinion. Again, if she went to like throw her hands around his neck and it became a threat or something,
yeah,
a tap on the back does not warrant a slap across the face, especially from like a man to a woman. It's like, Brittany's not that big of a person. Like, you're not terrified by her. Come on.
And the guy's 7'5". Now, I'm not saying that makes you tough. I'm just saying you're 7'5".
And again, had she walked up with something that looked like a weapon and you just freaked out and tried to do something, but it's like, seriously?
Yeah.
You shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. Somebody texted and stop hitting yourself. You feel like if you took her hand and like hit her in the face. Like,
well, the eyewitness continued. It said more about the situation that happened.
Victor walked right in, kept going. A couple of people stayed behind to, I would say, check on her. Or I'm guessing they didn't know it was Brittany. So just to restrain this person from getting any closer. Afterwards, they sort of tried to walk her out of the restaurant. She screamed and using a British accent. That's what she was using the whole time. This is America. It was an angry tone.
Well, she's got hit in the face.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably be angry too.
Yeah. Whether I'd go into a British accent and scream.
And not for nothing, things have not gone Brittany's way for a while. Obviously, something's still wrong, but she's under a conservatorship at a young age. And people look at Brittany now and they're like, well, clearly she is crazy and all this. But she got put on it. Well, she was raking in millions and millions and millions
or her
of
dad
dollars.
Was, right?
Well, I mean, right.
Yeah.
But she was making the money, even if she didn't get to keep it.
Right.
She was coherent enough to work and perform in world tour. She got put on this at a super young age.
Absolutely.
And I've gotten in arguments with people before because they're like, well, she doesn't make the best decisions. That doesn't matter. You have a right to be somebody who makes stupid decisions. Let me tell you something. My brother should be in a conservatorship, okay? You can make bad decisions. That doesn't warrant that.
Hey.
She can lose all of her money, make bad decisions, go to rehab. You see a lot of that. If we would have thrown Robert Downey Jr. on a conservatorship, we wouldn't have gotten Iron Man. It's great.
Wow, that's an interesting leap.
Right?
Yeah. We let him go to jail and go bankrupt.
And learn. And do learn. Yeah, look at all the things. Like, you're allowed to make horrible decisions. It doesn't mean you should be on a conservatorship.
Listen, I bought a condo right before the housing crisis in 08.
You should be on a conservatorship.
I should have been on one then. But then again, I got here. I made it back. I realized I was an idiot. Okay?
Right. So I understand now. Something still does seem off, but she was heavily medicated and all that for years. That could have messed with her. Like, something still seems wrong. And I know we don't have every detail, but I do think she was put on a conservatorship too early, and now it just led to a lot.
Yeah, what a weird story.
It's so weird.
I just found it fascinating that she was going after the number one NBA draft pick to tap him on the shoulder, and then this is how it ends up. But it will continue now. She wants an apology, she talked to the police about criminal charges against the security guard. So we'll see how that plays out.
It's going to be tough in Vegas. A lot goes down in Vegas.
Yeah, right.
It's a tough place.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
All right, coming up in a half hour, Clash with Kenzie at 7:20. Last chance this week for Jim Jeffries tickets at the Chicago Theater. Super funny dude, especially live when you see him. Like, you've seen specials, but when you get there in the venue, it just something is more impactful. Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So that's at 7:20. In the meantime, Gil Curtis, Brian and Kenzie's newsman, with your headlines.
This is not headline news. Britney Spears claims she was assaulted by Victor Yembanwama's security team. When asked what happened, Britney broke into a crazy bikini dance. An interactive Friends exhibit opened in Michigan. Even the security guard seems to look like Matt LeBlanc. Oh, that is Matt LeBlanc. My bad. The Mars rover found a rock with a hole in the middle. So to recap, America blew $2.5 billion on a mission to discover a space donut. And the Eagles have announced they're going on a farewell tour. It'll be known as the Assisted Living Center California. This is not headline news.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.